Whoa! We are back for the 21st episode of Homemade Advantage. I'm Sam Herring, joined today by Jude Swisher on a very fine, Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
And Bill Farrell starts tomorrow. We're super excited to get talking about that, and then lots of college stuff going on. So we'll get previewing. But first, how are you doing today, Jude?
Sam, I am fantastic. Once again, I'm eating, and it's delightful. I don't have to make weight for a solid month, and so, fat and happy. Remind our listeners, as we always do every week, how could you forget? But follow our Instagram and our Twitter. We have content going up pretty much every day now. It's actually very exciting to see it grow. Our Instagram and our Twitter is at HMA Wrestling. You can send us emails to our email, hmadadvantage@gmail.com. And
I want to change that. That email is weird.
It's pretty bad. Maybe we'll just switch it to HMA Wrestling shortly. But also we have our website is 100% up and running. We are posting lots of stuff, like multiple articles a week. Right now we are doing it is a 6-article, I don't know, you can call it a series.
Weight by weight
preview for the Bill Carell.
No, it is Bill Farrell.
What if we just spelled it like Farel?
What if I spelled your last name Switcher?
Switcher?
Yeah, what if we did that?
Okay, hi guys, I'm Jude Switcher. And, so Sam wrote 57 kilograms, I wrote 65. We're having our friends Dyson and Dom and Mason Beckman all write us the rest of it, and Sam's going to finish it up with 125 kilograms. And those will all be out. Are we releasing them all today, Sam?
Yeah, so we will have, we have 65 and 57 out right now, and then 74, Mason Beckman is going to post that in just a few minutes. And by the time you're listening to this, we'll probably have them all out. And then we'll have 86, which I think Dom Deputy is doing, and then 97, Dyson Gould, and then I'm doing another one with heavyweight. So, yeah, they should all be out by 7 o'clock tonight. And you'll have plenty to read and plenty to know about the Bill Farrell for tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very good competition. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to touch on some college wrestling, even though, a lot of it's been said already. But we're going to do a quick little mini recap, talk a little bit of the Bill Farrell, give us a fantasy wrestling update, and answer some of your questions.
Hey, let's clarify. It's Bill Farrell.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Tomato, taco, taco.
No.
That's what my grandpa says. All right. So, let's just hop right into it. Number 1 PSU wrestled number 31 or something Navy, in Penn State's opening match. It was at Rec Hall. I got to go. I had a press pass, and it was a really good match. And it's interesting. If the match isn't if the dual meet isn't really in high contention, for example, PSU versus Navy, it's almost like the PSU wrestlers are competing against themselves and each other, who can get the quickest pin, who can score the most points, who can, do each other's moves in a match. And it's just like a show for everyone who's watching.
Another shout out to our website. Jude posted a great article. It's called 5 Things We Learned from Number 1 PSU versus Navy. Go check that out. It's a great article. A little one-sided, perhaps.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, I think that's a good one. Just, again, keep checking out our website. We're posting a lot. And, yeah, lots of content coming.
There's a lot of plugs on this show. We do a lot of shout outs and things like that. So, Sam, how much of the match did you watch? Or the meets?
So I went back and watched all of them. I was gone for the weekend, so I didn't get to watch it. but I came back and watched them all, so I should be good.
Mm-hmm. So I have a couple quick thoughts. The first one is, maybe the most anticipated wrestler, of the event was Kyle Cannell. It was Kyle Cannell's Penn State debut. He's had a full season off the mat because of injury, and now he's transferred. And he went out with a bang, taking third at NCAA's, and now he's coming back to the starting Penn State 197 pounder. And for the most part, I think that people were kind of disappointed with his performance. He ended up winning 3-1, I believe, 3-2,
Yeah.
close match. He got in on legs a whole lot, was really unable to finish for the most part.
Did you see Penn State's tweet about what a sequence from Connell?
Yeah, I did.
That was weird.
A little confusing,
really weird.
maybe, but he got a reversal. The dude had rode him from boots for close to a minute, and he got the reversal and cinched it up. And a lot of people were really disappointed. They were expecting to see some big things. Now, to them, I say, just wait. It's the beginning of the season. That's his first match in over a year. He's getting the rust off and I think he's slowly coming back into it. One of the biggest things I noticed is that Cannell he's so strong. Like, his legs are tree trunks, like they're massive. And he could get to the legs a whole lot. The thing that, really would make the difference is just quicker finishes. He got in really deep several times, but I forget who he was wrestling, but they would always end up in far ankle scrambles, which would result in stalemates.
Right.
Connell obviously has the power and the strength. A blast double leg would serve him really, really, really well, especially because he moves really well and he has a lot of setups. But if he can just get one good attack consistently and is able to finish consistently, that'll bump his scoring way higher.
And if there's anything that the Penn State room can do, it is take a wrestler and improve him so much. And Connell, we know, has so much potential, and I think Penn State will be able to get him up to that potential and keep him there. Their coaching staff is so great that they can do that. And, so I think that Connell will be able to reach that potential and reach that peak of his performance, especially by March. I think he'll be good and ready to go.
Right. A lot of people are kind of writing him off like, oh, what we saw at March was just an anomaly,
Well,
like, we won't see that again. I think that if anyone can get him to perform at his peak, it's Penn State. They really, really focus on having a driving offense, and Cannell, I believe that he's buying into the process, and they're going to work on developing him all the way up. Try to get a national champ out of him. So, it's good. Maybe a little disappointing, but good thing. We're only going forward from here.
Yes. So when people say that Kyle Connell has only competed once, competed well once. I mean, I kind of agree that his average is what we saw against Navy. That's who Kyle Connell has been for most of the time. But after the NCAAs, he came back to the U23 trials and took second behind Colin Moore. But he was right there. He wasn't able to beat him like he was, and I think a little bit of that is freestyle. It's like he rode Colin Moore out in the third place match that year. So I think a little bit of that is freestyle, but he was there too in April. So after NCAAs, he came back to U23s and performed just as well.
Yeah.
Another thing that we have to keep in mind is his injury. When people come back from injuries, they are not the same
Hmm.
most of the time. And so we have to keep that in mind. I think he can perform well again, and I think he will perform well again. And there's a reason he's the third ranked guy according to Flow Wrestling. Um, I think there's a reason, and I think he will meet those expectations.
Hmm.
And a lot of guys, their first match in Rec Hall, they don't perform as well. Mark Hall, uh, Lawson Carver, Vincenzo Joseph lost his first match.
Yeah.
A lot of guys lost their first match in college, and this isn't his first match, but his first match in Rec Hall, it's a pretty big deal to
Right.
be wrestling for Penn State,
And
especially after wrestling for Kent State.
that kind of ties into like what my thoughts about Teskey were. So Teskey won a close one against John Schuster. I believe he was Schuster, but you know, everyone was like, anticipating him being more than he was. Um, he's still a freshman, and that's his first match under the lights at Rec Hall. Um, and guys changed so much during the season. So, um, and Schuster really, really he had a lot of Russian ties and was really slowing Teskey down. So Teskey really couldn't get a lot of offense going. Um, but I do believe that the Penn State coaches will be able to take Teskey and get him mentally prepared, so that he can go get to his offense every time. Because
Yeah.
that's what the Penn State coaches love. They love a guy who will just go 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 and just continue scoring the entire match. Um, so if they can get him to do that, I think they're going to be good. The last thing I have on PSU Navy was during the press conference, um, which was the post-match press conference with Kale and Creighton Edsel and Luke Gardner. The way Kale was talking was suggested that Gardner was the starter.
Yeah.
And the word on the street is that Gardner had beaten out for clearing for 49.
That was so surprising to me.
Yeah, Gardner's a guy who's he was behind Zane and he was behind um, for clearing and Nolf and just really trying to find his way through this like sea of blue chip recruits that Penn State brings in, and
Hmm.
he's been a really really consistent guy. Um, and I think it finally paid off, and Gardner really he went out there and he got right to it, got a cradle locked up in the first period and pinned him. So if we can keep seeing fearless offense from Gardner, I think that he's going to be a good thing. And you know if he truly did beat Verclearen, then he's all American quality already,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
because that's where Verclearen is. So exciting things from Penn State, and it's good to see that the guys in the room um, are able to keep getting better and progress, even if they're behind, you know, cadet world champions and things like that. So
What's the story on Edsel above
that's
Rashid? Is it because he beat him in the wrestle off, or because Rashid just wasn't healthy or didn't need to wrestle the first match?
so Edsel is a true freshman. He's from Wyalusing, PA, which is
Hmm.
where a lot of my family's from.
District
And
4.
yeah, and oh yeah, and they asked him about they asked Kale why they didn't put Rashid in the match, and Kale said something along the lines of that it was precautionary, like they didn't want to throw him out there too soon,
Hmm.
and that he might not be 100% ready yet. Um, so I think that there's a good chance we'll see Edsel wrestle again
Okay.
um,
Does
before
that
a
not burn
couple more
his red
times.
shirt?
Oh yeah, it does. It definitely does. One match out there and that's
Well,
how it is.
I guess they will never use him though because they've got Brooks and Staraki and Beard all surrounding him. I doubt they'll use him.
It's an interesting choice to put out Edsel as opposed to um, these other guys. But I think that probably holding on to Brooks and Starachi's um, red shirts and giving them a year to develop will be really, really helpful in the future. 2021 is going to be a really, really tough team race, and they want
Oh yeah,
all their guys out there firing. So,
2021
uh,
will be great,
yeah,
especially with the recent commits that were huge to us, or transfers, I guess we'll call them. Ironman transferring to Iowa, and then HMA transferring to Ohio State, or
just
transferring.
yesterday.
Yeah. So these are huge things for the 2021 team race. Ohio State, Iowa, and Penn State will be so close next year in my eyes.
It's going to be all time.
Kirkfleet leaving, looking like Minnesota, which doesn't quite make any sense yet. Maybe Gable's gonna leave. I don't know. There's some big stories,
Yeah. We'll
storylines right now.
keep you updated. It's a development. So let's see. The other news is they had the Journeymen Collegiate. Something of note is that Anthony Valencia won 174, so that's interesting, I thought. And then at 184,
I picked him on my fantasy team for a reason.
all right, you little Sam. But the other thing was that his brother had a really close match with Taylor Venz. So Zahid and Venz was like, I believe it was the finals, or
It was round
like,
robin match 1.
Oh, first match.
It was a round robin though, so.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. Zahid, like right off the whistle, takes a shot, and Venz catches him with an underhook throw by. Got his hips all the way behind him for the 2, like that quick. Finger snap. Venz was all the way behind him, and
it looked like
was leading 2-0.
It looked like Zahid went for like a collar tie ankle pick right off the whistle. And it looked like he thought Venz was like stepping forward too much without any defense. And then he thought he could just tip him over, and Venz was like, and just overpowered him.
Yeah.
Pancaked him.
And then Venz ends up getting like 3 takedowns throughout the match. Half of Zahid's points were escapes. And Zahid ends up winning 8-7, I believe was the final score. It was a shocking match. I was really, really surprised.
Hey, tell me this. What do you think about a 3-point takedown in college? Because I think we kind of debated it last year, I think, when Miles Martin wrestled Nick Reenan. And Miles Martin took him down, let him up, like 4 times. And the score was like 8-6. It was just messed up.
So you can think of it, points should be awarded due to the difficulty of it is to score them. So, for example,
right.
It's harder to get a takedown than an escape.
Much harder.
It's a much harder, right?
No, so very like wrestle Ethan Lezak. That's not the truth, but the same, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall.
So would you say that a takedown is twice as hard as an escape? Probably not. So, or would you say that a takedown is exact same difficulty as a reversal? They're both 2 points.
But would you say that tilting a guy for 4 seconds is of the same or 4 times more difficult than getting out from bottom?
Yeah. Oh, I would say that. I think
tilting a guy for 4 seconds is 4 times.
Oh, on 4. You mean 5 seconds?
4.
4 seconds.
In college, you tilt him for 4 seconds and it's 4 points.
Oh, I thought it was a 5. All right, never mind. I everything I know has just been, my entire world has been rocked. I didn't know that. So it's definitely something that we need to put more thought into, but I am a fan of the 3-point takedown, I think. What it does is that it definitely puts a lot more emphasis on takedowns, and it'll blow matches apart a lot quicker than, taking down, let them up for 2-point takedowns. So it's just something that they'll have to work on. I don't know if they will. Sam, what do you think?
I totally think that 3-point takedown is coming to be more necessary than it has been. I think that we've been valuing neutral wrestling, especially if we want to be better in the freestyle scene. we need to value takedowns much more. And it used
Right.
to be takedowns in freestyle were 1 point. And it's totally changed where takedowns is a whole game of freestyle. So, I think we're gonna move that way, and I think we need to. I think it has to be um, a 3 point takedown.
No, I think that no, yeah, it's something that we're gonna have to consider moving forward, and especially as our freestyle game becomes more focused from the the youth level and transitioning to college. More and more guys are staying on to wrestle freestyle, senior level. So, and we need more gold medals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we can put more of an emphasis onto freestyle and the takedowns, I think it's only going to be good for our wrestling. So, but something going forward in the future that will definitely come up again, and we'll probably talk about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The second question is Vens a title contender? Sam Herring. I think Vens is, if he can, obviously in his mind he thought he could beat Zahid Valencia, right? He took him down 3 times. How do you know? You have so much confidence that you're gonna go after Zahid and go get him, and everyone thought Zahid was gonna run away with it. I think Vens is pretty clearly in contention for this title. So
I definitely agree, but also we have to keep in mind what a title contender means. Um, Last year, Zahid Valencia took a loss to Mark Hall, and it was pretty darn bad. Mark Hall destroyed him.
Rode him for an entire period.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a wake-up call for Zahid, and he came back and started blowing people out of the water, other than getting pinned by Daniel Lewis. So, he can still, Zahid Valencia can have a poor term. He's kind of like Spencer Lee.
Yeah.
In the sense of he has a poor regular season, but he blows it up when the spotlight's on.
Right.
And so I don't think he's a title contender in the sense of he would have 50% of the votes for winning an NCAA title compared like the same amount that picked Zahid, pick him or whatever. I don't think he's that much of a title contender. He's definitely a sneaker. I'm using FRL terms now. But a sleeper who could
sneaker.
Anyway, but no, I think he could. I think he's a solid dark horse pick to win, but I don't think he's considered a favorite to win.
Right. Do you think the problem with Zahid is that he underestimates his competition, or just do you think he like just thinks he's so good?
In college, I believe you see that so rarely now, especially in the wrestling rooms that these guys are in with the RTC. They get beat up pretty regularly in the room, and they have coaches making sure their mindset is correct. And they're such high level athletes that a mindset slip could cause them so much problems. I don't think they really would overlook any high level athlete like Zahid would overlook anybody. They know that they have to give their best effort every match, regardless of who the opponent is.
Mm-hmm.
I think his problem is probably
because I think it's definitely a mentally problem. I think it's a mental problem. Like
I disagree.
You think he just doesn't peak? Doesn't?
I don't think it's a
put enough weight on regular season competition. You think he just doesn't value it as much compared? Well, obviously you don't.
Well, in his
value
training,
it as much.
In his training. So I don't think that he takes his training as seriously right now as he would in March,
yeah.
The postseason, which is natural. Everybody should, and there's a time where people need to peak, and that's one thing that we see in college that is so much different than when you wrestle international, because Jordan Burroughs wrestles probably 5 events a year, and everybody's like, "Dang, Jordan Burroughs is competing a lot this year."
Yeah.
And in college, you wrestle 5 in a month, so you have to know when to peak, and your training has to be a little bit different. But some guys are able to hold that, like Jason Nolf and Bo Nickel were able to hold their competitive streak all year, but they weren't able to succeed in the off season in freestyle as well as they'd like. But I think there is a happy medium, or is that a happy medium line where you can peak for the whole time, but not get to your highest peak, if you know what I mean.
Right.
I think his problem is with training, and that's what Zeke Jones said last year before or after the Mark Hall match was he just hasn't been training as hard as he should right now, and I think that's where it lies, where the problem lies with him.
Mhm. So I think that Zahid having this close match, um, if nothing else, it's going to inspire his competition to be like, oh, I can get this. I think that people are going to look at this match and say, oh, he's beatable. Here's what we have to do. So I think that guys are going to still come after him, and maybe having such a close match will defeat the mystique of Zahid Valencia. So
Yeah. Yes.
The other news, we just got to go through this quick, but Luke Pletcher had an overtime victory over freshman Real Woods.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone saw the match. It was pretty boring. Not a lot of scoring situations happen until overtime when Real Woods goes stutter step, drops level, picks the ankle like right off the whistle. Yeah. So I went back and watched the match and I was thinking, what did he do wrong? Because he was in such good position and Pletcher was able to take it around. So first, here's what he did right. The shot off the whistle is great technique because guys don't often expect a shot off the whistle, right? Mm-hmm. So he just made himself go and get to the leg, and that's taking advantage of, guys being lazy right off the whistle. And then he got the foot up too. So he got Pletcher's weight backwards. The foot came up.
Foot off the mat. It's hard to scramble with the foot off the mat.
It's really hard to scramble with the foot off the mat. Pletcher dove for an ankle, and they got in a scramble. And if I remember correctly, Real Woods had both legs, and then you had them both shelved. Mm-hmm. All right? And as they were scrambling, he let the legs go to the mat, and then he let one leg go. So he basically, gave Pletcher a post. So once Pletcher's legs are unshelved, that'll give him something to drive off of. And then he sat back on his heels, and that took the pressure off, and Pletcher was able to, now with his foot, he can push back into him, get the leg up, and finish. So, really, really little things that made the difference between winning the match and losing the match. But, Cliff Fretwell talks about this all the time. Like, the keys to scrambling is you're going to need to have keep your feet on the mat.
Both feet in the mat and take his out. Yeah.
And take his out. And then he has no drive and you do, and then you'll win the scramble. So, obviously, Real Woods he's ready to go. He's a freshman and, he's going into overtime with the number one in the entire country. Little tiny things to fix, but, I think that next time they wrestle, I think Woods is going to be a little more offensive and work to get to Pletcher's legs more. Work on finishing.
That's what you need against a guy like Luke Pletcher, where he kind of waits it out. He's super clutch and savvy, especially as a freshman. You need to just think and push him and stop moving. Get in on legs. Make him get in on legs. Just get into wrestling positions with a guy like him and make stuff happen, because your best shot, Real Woods is extremely talented, and I don't really love the word talented, but he is a very skilled wrestler, mm-hmm. and he can go with Luke Pletcher, like we saw in that overtime period. He was able to go with him for a while, and if he got into more positions like those, he would take Luke Pletcher to a spot where Luke Pletcher's not used to being. He's used to kind of waiting out, get a takedown at the end of period, stuff like that. But if you push him for a long time, you're going to have to see a new Luke Pletcher, and that's what you want if you're a guy like Real Woods.
Right, and, Pletcher has made a living off of the, staying in good position and snatching it in the end. If you play that game with Luke Pletcher, your chances of winning go really, really down
Unless
because
his name is Roman Bravo Young.
yeah,
You're absolutely insanely clutch.
yeah, no, Pletcher. It's really, really rare that Pletcher will lose a match if you play him at his game.
Right.
You know that you don't. It's like you don't go upper body with Vincenzo Joseph because he'll throw you, right? You just you gotta stay out of positions where your opponent is good,
Unless your name is Alex Marinelli.
unless your name is Alex Marinelli. You stay in a position where your opponent is good and get to positions where you're good. You know, staying out of the 1 point overtime match with Luke Pletcher. That's your best. That's your best bet. The more scrambles you can get into, the better it's going to be.
Yep.
Okay, so that was college wrestling. Sam, how long have we been recording for?
I'd say about 30 minutes. Let's check. 30 minutes and 53 seconds.
Wow. All right, 30 minutes. I say we can. Let's talk.
You say wow as if that's a bad thing.
Wow. No, it was wow as if that you're just an excellent guesser of time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So okay, the fantasy.
That well.
I think it's time for your favorite segment that really only has interest to us. But we're going to talk about our fantasy league updates just super quickly. So here's the big news. My good team, which I picked with a lot of love and care, is doing really, really bad. I've lost every match so far. I've lost every fantasy meets. I'm 0-2 in the season so far. Not good. But the team that I did not pick, so I have two teams. One of them I wasn't there for the draft, and so I was put on auto pick.
Haha, I did it for him.
I got put on auto pick, and that team is doing really well, like overperforming. So, but the biggest news is that. Oh, Sam, do you have something?
I'm in the same boat. My bad team is doing well, and my good team, or my opinion, good team is doing poorly. But I'm sure that'll change. It's like more teams compete. Like Iowa hasn't even had their first duel yet, so.
Yeah, and my decent team, a lot of those guys haven't competed, so we'll see what happens.
Somehow in one of our leagues, the top 3 teams are Sims. It's like I did 3 leagues, and there's 10 people in each league, and the one league where we couldn't fill it completely, there are 3 Sims that I had to put in, and they're leading, which is not fair. I'm gonna have to sue WrestleStat.
Did you have to put the Sims in?
Yeah, you had to have 10 people.
Ah. All right then.
Otherwise, you'd be in first. But
Yeah,
now you're
I
fourth.
would love to be in first. Hey, I think it's about time we invite special guest Eli Herring on the show.
Okay.
Talk a little fantasy.
Let's do it. All right, he's coming in just a minute.
Go grab him.
Scoot over, you big lunk. All right.
Okay, we are here, joined live, Eli Herring. Eli, how are you today, sir?
Very good, very good.
Yeah? That's
I'm
awesome.
doing timestamps.
Oh, he's doing the timestamps for the show. Guys, Eli does a lot behind the scenes for us. We really appreciate you, Eli.
Thank you.
In fact, I appreciate you so much that I decided to beat you in fantasy wrestling 42 to 16. 42 to 16 with my auto-picked team. Eli, give us the breakdown on what happened.
I didn't have Patrick Glory.
Oh.
I think a lot of you guys know. Is it Cat Fan? Wrestler Never Dies is a Cat Fan.
Yeah.
He has
my guy.
Yeah, I don't know who has. I think it's Dom.
Dom
Deputy.
Yeah. Dom Deputy, wrestling resource, doing a PA Power. He took Patrick Glory. We're picking it all. I was telling Sam I'm gonna get Patrick Glory and Lugo.
Actually, a Sim might have taken him.
Yeah, I think he was simming at the time. I think he got in kind of late. So they take it right before I'm gonna get it, and I'm infuriated, and I blow up their texts. And yeah.
Also, maybe the fact that you have 3 empty spots and you are missing a floater
Oh
on your
yeah.
team, or 4 empty spots on your starter.
Okay. So
You gotta
Also,
fix that.
it wouldn't let me move around some of my guys. I had to wait a week. So maybe that's why, Jude.
Here, yeah.
yeah,
There.
okay, two
I'm
things.
supposed to have Malik Heinzelman 25, Austin DeSanto 123.
133.
Or okay.
All right.
Mike Carr 141, Mike D'Angelo 149, Ryan Deacon 57, Kennedy Monday 65, Anthony Valencia 74, and Cash Wilkie 184. Nick Reedon for 97. I would have blown you up there.
All right. Wait.
And then
No, okay. No. I have 2 things to say.
what?
No, wait.
Thanks.
So, first of all, Sam just said Iowa hasn't wrestled their first duel yet. How is Lugo gonna earn you points? They haven't competed.
Okay, this is something I was really curious about. Eli has literally, I don't even know if he knew that Pat Lugo existed a while back.
Yeah.
And so now Eli has this crazy obsession for wanting Pat Lugo on his fantasy
Well,
team.
I've got Pat Lugo.
Yeah, you traded him with Wrestling
But I-
Never Dies. It was a stupid, or with Dyson. It was a stupid trade, dude. Or no,
Yeah,
you-
I'm still gonna get I'm gonna get Pat Glory eventually.
you literally made your
He
handle
just
name.
wants Pats.
He made his name on WrestleStat. I want Lugo and Glory.
So, what is your obsession with Lugo and Glory?
Okay,
Why do you
okay.
like them?
I knew that Lugo existed.
okay.
We went to Big Tens together,
Okay,
and
ahead.
that's kind of crazy.
sorry.
Right. The obsession was that I was infuriated that I was about to get 2 really good wrestlers. And I'd never done the fantasy before, so I didn't know how it worked. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get 2 really good wrestlers, and then both of them get picked.
Well, you know
two
there are
before me.
better wrestlers than Lugo.
Well, most of them were taken or redshirting.
Take Ja'Cory Teamer, which was hidden.
But why did you go into the league thinking, oh, I'm gonna get Lugo?
No, not at all.
So it was just at the time you're just like, I want him.
It was just that they took it from me right before I got it. So there was 2 people ahead of me. It was Cat Fan and Dom, and both of them got it that same time.
Okay, well, regardless, you're gonna need to fill in your team if you're gonna want to get some wins.
Hey, he's got Lugo on his bench right now behind Mike D'Angelo. So don't ask me, dude.
Hey, he's coming up. He's coming up.
You
Okay.
got
I'm
him.
saving him.
You're saying. Well, good
For
thing.
what it matters.
I need to
You
know
know
the
what?
wild card I got.
You know what? That was everybody. That didn't help. Everybody. That's
I
actually
just said,
probably a
I
really.
just said it on the podcast, so everybody knows.
Yeah. And they're not even in the league. Anyway, it was actually pretty smart to do that. Now you have to move him though because Iowa hasn't even wrestled yet.
Yeah, I was smart.
All right, Eli. Hey, do you want to just stay on the show and answer some questions with us, Eli?
I'll do my best.
Sam, you okay with
However,
that?
I'd like to warn you
We're
that
good.
I'm not the big brains like you guys are.
Eli, you're super
When it
big
comes to
brain,
wrestling.
dude. You're so big brain. All right,
He knows a lot about chicken wings. Well, we
he
will.
does. Did you guys? Okay, so in the video behind Sam's head, there's a Kyle Snyder poster.
Yes, sir.
You want me to take it down real quick?
No, we're
No,
good.
but
Alright.
Eli wrote on the poster, "Chicken wings."
You'd be surprised on how many things in our house has written on it chicken
Well,
wings.
okay, so here's the thing. I printed that from online. I got images of Kyle Snyder and printed it. And I was going to put my daily thing I needed to do. And then I laminated it. And then I wrote with a dry erase marker. So
And-
it could
and you
come
didn't-
off whenever I want.
And you didn't ask for permission from Tony Rotundo?
Uh-oh. He's stealing photos. Guys, don't steal photos. That's not cool.
Just
It's not.
keep your head right there and keep the background blurred. And we'll be
We'll be okay. Okay, so let's hop into some of our questions, which you guys sent in from Twitter. And we really appreciate it. So our first one is from our guy, Dog Deputy, and he asked us, do you think Kyle Cannell could have performed better and in which aspect? Example, conditioning, technique, etc. So we kind of already talked about this, but
Yeah.
I think that his tech, he's already so strong and his conditioning's already so good that if he can just finish quicker.
I'm not gonna say mindset because, like, I think it was all rec hall, nervousy, butterflies, all that kind of stuff. I think he had to. I think he had to get by that. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Jude was looking at you funny.
Nothing. It's just you guys just are so similar. It's really funny. Like you guys look really similar. Sorry, I'm just
There's a reason.
Yeah. Well, I
There's
did
a
get a
reason.
haircut, so
it looks sharp. It looks really nice. Eli, what is your take on Kyle Cannell?
I think he could have improved a little bit more technically. Like you said, he's very strong and very well conditioned. So, yeah. And when you have that, it only really leaves technique and mindset. So,
yeah,
that's about it.
Just having an offensive mindset will really serve him well.
That's the offensive mindset.
Yeah. All right.
Get it.
JB Colat, he asks us, are we buying or selling on Josh Kramer? No one gave him any love in the preseason. He beat Klebov in the wrestle-off and knocked off nationally ranked Louis Hayes at Journeyman and looked solid doing that. Well, he actually didn't just knock off Hayes. He also knocked off, here, I'll pull it up.
Dude,
5 guys.
Yeah, no, I'm buying on him.
I'll buy him.
If we did another draft, he is an underrated pick for WrestleStat.
Wait, is he in?
Shout out to WrestleStat. We love our shout outs.
Yeah, WrestleStat, you guys rock. Jeez.
Jeez.
Jeez, man.
Perfect insert for G's.
I'm looking real quick. Eli, give us your take on Josh Kramer. It's Arizona State.
I think we're buying.
Yeah, I think buying is the only thing that you can possibly do here.
Yeah, no. You spend your money on Josh Kramer.
Guys, he beat number 19 Louis Hayes, 15 Nick Farrow, 12 Anthony Madrigal, and number 10 DJ Fellman.
Heck, even his name sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Josh Kramer.
If you didn't even see him or watch his matches, you'd think, oh man, we're getting a good guy.
Yeah, Kramer's good, dude. That name. Yeah, guys, how much of all the wrestling names? What is your favorite wrestling name? AJ Ferrari's.
That's what I was gonna go with. But his little brother Angelo Ferrari, that's pretty solid.
I know a guy named Justice Thrasher.
Ooh, Thrasher. That's a really good name.
I know Jesse Justice is one too.
Jesse Justice.
Man, pretty good ones.
Dude, there's a kid who goes to our club. His name's Suds Dubler.
Oh yeah.
SUDS Dubler. He's the man.
I remember when he wrestled at States last year, like that blew up, and everybody wanted a picture with Suds Dubler.
Suds Dubler. Suds is the man. I like Suds is my guy. I'm trying to think. I don't have any more that come to the top of my head, but
yeah, we took it from buying and selling on Josh Kramer to Suds Dubler somehow.
All right. Our last question we have is, with Gross keeping his weight down and adding freestyle, will his bonus points be affected? We'll take this question like one at a time. So,
okay.
Will his bonus points be affected? I think maybe. Like he had a decision against, a really low ranked opponent, or he might have been unranked. Like the score was like 7-3.
It's gonna be really hard for him to be dominating guys and having a high pace and scoring a lot of points when he's cutting weight. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to affect it. He's still my pick for the Hodge regardless. He's gonna have to get used to it though. I'm assuming he's going to be weighing in for his events at like 129, 130.
I'm gonna say that if you're that good of a wrestler like Seth Gross is, even if you do change your game up and drop your weight and go to freestyle, you're going to figure out a way to come back. He's too high level to just kind of drop his game and not fix it.
Will he be able to keep up the same bonus rate that he was before?
It might take a while, but I think eventually he'll get to it.
Yeah, you just got to have your body adjust to the weight, Yeah. Getting down to 57 is, what is that, like 24 and a half or something? 26 and a half?
25.
Dude.
5.
All right, right in the middle. I was a little off. Little off. But man, not good, dude. There's so much. He's cutting so much weight. It's gonna be tough. Okay. Second part of this question is, with Spencer Lee's possible limited match count, besides Zahid, who will be the next guy in the Hodge conversation? All the Penn State guys, Kassar, Joseph and Hall won by tech and pin over ranked guys. I think they are. Joseph and Hall are probably got to be up there. I think Kassar, he might not have a decision until like Minnesota.
No,
if Gabe,
You know
If
who I'm
Gable-
picking for the Hodge?
Who?
Lugo or Glory?
Really?
Really?
oh really? Okay.
That would
Makes sense, wouldn't
be
it?
bold.
Yeah.
Only the freshest takes from Eli Herring.
So, I think if Gable doesn't wrestle, especially this year, like he might take a red shirt. I would not be surprised if Kassar has 100% bonus rate.
yeah, if he doesn't wrestle Gable,
D White's gone, and yes, I'm calling Derek White Dwight.
Dwight.
I get it.
How co- what? Oh my gosh! All right.
Did Low guys start that?
No,
I feel like they did.
I don't think they did. Anyway, yeah, I think it will be him. I will not pick Chenzo and Mark Hall for Hodge.
No, I
they
wouldn't pick Chenzo. I'd pick Mark.
and Penn State fans, stop yelling at me right now. But Chenzo and Mark Hall do not score a bunch of points. Now they have pinning capabilities, but that is not what it takes to be like. You're not going to be able to pin everybody. It's good to be able to put away the guys that you're much better than, but they don't really dominate guys with points. They don't put up a bunch of points.
Yeah, no, I think that definitely not Chenzo. I just 65 it's so deep. I think that Mark is a lot more separated from the field at 174. But he's gonna have to put up a lot of points if he wants to be a Hodge contender. So
Anthony Valencia there's totally underrated. He's gonna be good. Yeah,
He's underrated.
he's underrated.
we'll see. Yeah, well, no, it's because he just had 2 bad seasons in a row.
Rightfully so. Rightfully.
Like he was really great in high school, and then he kind of dropped off in college, and so
This summer though, he kind of proved to me that he's on that level again. So we'll
he
see.
was cool. Yeah. All right, hey guys, that question was from AZ Wrestling fan, and with that,
Dude likes Arizona wrestling.
Arizona, I guess so. Big
A lot of Arizona.
big
talk.
RBY guy.
Anthony Echemendia.
Echemendia. Is it Echemendia or Echemendia?
I think I said that one wrong. I think it is Echemendia.
All right, guys. Hey, with that, I believe that is a conclusion to this episode of Home Advantage Wrestling Podcast.
I think we have 15 interviews, 21 normal episodes. All right, Nomad. So I think what is the quick math? How many is that?
How many is what?
20,
15 plus
21 plus 15. Go, Eli.
36.
Seriously, you're gonna put me
No,
in this kind of
honestly,
pressure under all these people, even though it's easy math. But seriously,
Yeah, I was.
that's mean.
It's
Okay,
really
let's
in front of nobody but me. I'm the only one here.
Well, no, because there's like people watching.
All right.
All right. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. We all really appreciate it. All of us at Home Advantage, it really means the world to us that we're able to do this and we're able to have conversations about wrestling and our community. All the guys who follow us and read our stuff. It really means a whole lot.
And we've had a few questions about shirts. Hopefully, we'll be getting some new T-shirts coming out soon. We'll see. We'll let y'all know.
Shirts have been something that are very high on our priority list, and we're working to get shirts out to you guys because you guys deserve it. We have one of the greatest fan bases in all of wrestling media, and you guys deserve to be able to show us. I'm a Home Advantage fan, so hey, mega big shout out to our sponsor Tony Rotundo. Don't steal his photos anymore, Eli. He'll be so angry. He'll be so angry. Tony,
I'll take that down.
guys, if you go to our website, all the photos on our Every one of the photos on our website is from Tony Rotundo. You know, he's a fantastic photographer, and he really helps us out with everything on the podcast. He's a really, really great friend of ours.
Hey, one of them was actually from Mark Bader's telephone, but
His telephone,
Wait, telephone.
his dial-up,
his cell phone. Whatever.
his
I was
telephone.
like, how can you
I
take a
don't
picture with
know.
a cell phone?
Oh my gosh, this show is dissolving into madness. So, guys,
Yeah,
thank you very
let's
much for
See y'all
Thank
next
you,
time.
Mom.
Episode 21. We'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
See you next time.